Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Bobby Smith. I am a vice president for Powur. I am calling from, zooming in from Maryland tonight, and we're honored to have you on here tonight. Buenos noches. This Zoom tonight is a little bit different because it's dedicated really to solar professionals because we're attracting so many of those. But again, entrepreneurs, people who touch homeowners in any way, salespeople, or just someone that's looking for something, in these unprecedented times. My background for the last 10 years, I built a national nonprofit cancer foundation. So I was used to working in challenging times where people were dying, unfortunately, all around me. I built some rather large sales organizations. So this was kind of a good combination for me. And I'd have to say first and foremost that our thoughts and prayers go out there to everyone that's being affected in these extraordinary times. There is one blessing behind what we're going through right now as a country. And that is we're getting a glimpse of a world with cleaner energy. We're seeing shots from all over the world of just unprecedented new looks at what a cleaner world could be. And that has a tremendous impact. What's happening right now not only has a tremendous impact on the 20 million people that are out of work right now or are going to be out of work, but to the solar professional, the person that's gone to school, learned their craft, and not only were they probably with an outdated model before, with all due respect to the great companies out there, the great leadership, the wonderful people out there, but we built something different. We're coming off a record quarter, last quarter, and we were about to go raise another $5 or $10 million, probably $10 million, and this pandemic hit. So we're on the way to $1 billion IPO. And it's based on this model that you hear about. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Why? The cost of acquisition, the revenue, the profitability, our culture. We're going to give you everything that we can. And our company, more than anything else right now, has truly established ourselves as the leader in online solar sales. Because we're a platform, because we've been selling online for 4 or 5 years, you're going to meet a gentleman in a few minutes who's just changing the industry standards of selling solar online. So while everyone else is trying to figure it out in the solar industry, we're 3, 4, 5 years ahead. Their model's broken, ours is not. So let's talk about our solution to the industry, why you should join our company. I mean, that is the goal here tonight. That's what this is about. When we're done, why you should get on the phone with the person that brought you here and join. Our company, again, was founded 5 years ago in the rainforest by Jonathan Budd. Jonathan's easily Googleable. Jonathan's one of the top online entrepreneurs in the world. And Jonathan wanted to build a different model, a better model for solar. And Jim Bunch, our co-founder, Jim is a gentleman who changed the real estate industry forever, bringing the virtual tour to the real estate industry, took Jonathan to the rainforest. And Jonathan had a vision for what a better solar industry might look like. Jonathan put up $1 million of his own money. He put together a team of very talented executives from solar, from design, from procurement, from finance, customer relationships, the top salespeople from Tesla, Solar City, and again, a CEO, a recent addition to help take our company public. So we've got a Googleable management team. We've got a board of directors that's raised billions in venture capital. So we're in a very unique position. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a solar professional, what you want to do is get in front of something like that. So again, our first partner was Solar City. So we were vetted by the largest solar company in the world. They looked at our model. We started with Solar City. I got a 21 kW system on my home, but we realized we couldn't scale with Solar City. We outgrew them. They've spent billions of dollars and haven't gotten profitable. We signed contracts with 100 of the top solar companies in the world. You probably know most of the names, highly respected companies. But we realized there was a better way to go. We went online. We raised over 1.4 million in a few weeks. We broke the world record. And then our organization, our family grew to over 5,000 people, even today on an open Facebook page that paid to be a part of this model. At that time, they were entrepreneurs. They were professionals. They were salespeople, but they weren't solar professionals. We're going to talk to you how this came about to be the landing spot for top solar professionals. So what happened was last year we launched the only truly transparent cost of goods model in the solar industry today. And that's why hundreds and hundreds of solar professionals are joining us quietly in addition to what they're currently doing or leaving what they're doing to come join our platform and be a part of the future of solar, because we represent the future of solar. There is no question about that. So the difference in our company, again, while everyone's scurrying about right now, I wish I could release our financials, right now, but we will. An investor-backed company, again, our board, again, all Googleable. Our WeFunder campaign, we're fully licensed. We've done thousands of successful installations around the United States and around the world. We talked about our management team, and we're a public benefit corporation, which is a very unique distinction of company that is built to make the world a better place. I think any great company in the world that we're living in today is about values. It's about a core mission. And that is certainly what we're about. The 5,000 people that have joined our company believe in our management team. They believe in our vision. They believe in a cleaner world for our children and our grandchildren. And we get shit done. That's what we do. We're a big picture company, but every single day we are innovating and improving. Even as we speak, we'll talk about some innovations on the horizon right now. We are always just light years ahead of the traditional thinking of the traditional solar model of today. That model is broken and it will never return there. A very wise man once said, if you want to change things, don't try and fight the existing reality. Build a new model that makes the old model obsolete. And that's what Powur has done. We've built a model that has made the traditional model of solar obsolete. Did we have people knocking on doors and making $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 a month? Yes. Doing trade, doing all those traditional things. But we've been selling online. We've been building a model online that would reward the most important person in the value chain outside the customer who's got to get a great value. It's the person that sells the solar. They're out there every day. They're beating the payments. They're online. They're marketing. They're spending their hard-earned dollars. They're putting themselves on the line. And we believe, and we've proven, that we're going to make them the most valuable person in the chain. And again, there's thousands and thousands of people that you could talk to that will support exactly who we are and where we come from and what we're doing. In the old model of solar, many of you on here today, you probably took a job for a solar company. Maybe they're a good company. Maybe they were a good company. Maybe you got to deal with an EPC, whatever it might be. The commissions are much smaller than what we're paying almost all the time. There's little or no support. You're dependent upon the in-home sale. We are not. There are no in-home solar sales virtually right now. That model's dead. There's no passive income, there's no residual income, which means you're trading your life for dollars. It never gets any better. There's no equity, there's no ownership, there's nothing scalable about it. We have proven that in this model, you can sell for yourself, but not buy yourself. We have the most lucrative seller commissions in the industry. No one will debate that. Daily training and support in English and Spanish. We have a complete online sales training platform. We train how to sell solar online every single day and every single week. In this one, you can build a passive income. There are people on this line, many of them tonight, that have built six-figure and are on their way to multiple six-figure, if not seven-figure, passive incomes on the teams that they are building. This is not MLM, but it is a team building, just like every great sales company in the United States and the world. You can build a team, but you can own this company, and that's the difference. Almost everyone on here tonight that's joined us is a stockholder. They believe in where we're going. They believe in a billion-dollar IPO, and it's not based on anything but fundamentals and economics, because that's what a billion-dollar IPO is about. And that all revolves around the technology that we were spending $100,000 a month to build proprietary and completely scalable technology. My favorite part is just the asking everyone to just think for a moment. Is there anyone out there listening tonight, Solar Pro or not Solar Pro, that believes that almost every facet of our lives, even before the pandemic, has been touched by a platform economy? How we get from point A to point B, Uber, right? Where we might stay when we're traveling, Airbnb. And even though these industries have been crushed by this pandemic, we'll talk about why we're going to shine through. The real estate model of EXP, we have several of the top people in the world in EXP that have joined our company. If you look at how Costco has changed the food industry, if you look at their balance sheet, Costco doesn't make that much money selling food. They make money on a membership fee, which allows them to buy in bulk and deliver the best pricing in the industry to consumers. If you look at Amazon, how they've changed the retail environment. If you just look around you, how we communicate from Facebook and LinkedIn, I just cannot imagine if there's any prudent thinking, solar professional, sales professional, entrepreneur on the planet that would not agree with the fact that a platform environment, a platform economy has changed almost every single thing we do in our lives, in our daily routine. So if that is the facts, the undeniable facts, then what would make anyone think that those same principles would not apply to solar, and even bigger than that, the future, the renewable energy, where we are going? And it's just an undisputed fact that the platform economy, for my money, and millions of people around the world, is the way to go. We have established ourselves as the Uber, as the platform economy in the solar and the renewable energy industry. Our compensation plan is revolutionary in the fact that while other EPCs and dealers hide the true cost, you'll never see the bottom line. We show you the margin. We show you the cost of goods. And then we're going to split the revenue with you 70-30. And if you're a dealer that has a track record of success and can prove that here, we even have a higher revenue split for those, up to 80% for the people that can sell solar and get panels on rooftops. Folks, this is just math, and no one can debate it. As our community grows, as our volume grows, as we're purchasing more panels and more inverters and more everything, our pricing simply comes down. And because it's a revenue share, that means that you can make more money here in Powur than you can with any solar company on the planet. And that is simply the facts. I want to introduce you to a gentleman to walk you through the economics. It's simply an example of the kind of people we track, personally and professionally. Charles and I met in a coffee shop in San Diego. He has 20 years in the energy industry, 10 years in clean renewable energy, building, running, owning companies. I've gotten to know him personally as a dad, serving our military. He has thousands of people on his team in Powur. He's building an income and a passive income and a traditional income that most people would only dream about. And he does that with a lifestyle that most people would only dream about. Living a third of the month on the beach in Southern California, a third in Dallas, Texas. Yes, he's single, a third soon in South Florida, and just leading with class and integrity. So, you know, for tonight, for the solar professional, for the renewable professional, Charles is just a perfect example of someone who brings their skill sets, can see the future, saw a broken model, and engaged with us before this vision was on the table. Charles was a part of us when this current model was a thought probably in our CEO's mind somewhere, but where we were representing Solar City. It was with his help and the people on this Zoom here tonight that we were able to create and innovate and build the model that we have today. So I introduced you to one of the top solar and renewable energy professionals in the world, and certainly has the largest team in Powur, my good friend and leader, Mr. Charles Thompson. Charles, you have the ball.
Thank you, Bobby. Only a good friend would make those kind of comments as we're getting introduced, but thank you, sir. Worked with Bobby now for 4 years, and the friendship is certainly part of it, but just the mentorship that Bobby's provided me over this period of time has been game-changing, life-changing for me. So thank you for all you do. So I'm going to use a term that may not be familiar to some of you, and it's referred to as cost of goods or COGS. What I really look at is call that the wholesale cost. So those of us who are in the solar industry, which should be a majority of the people tonight, oftentimes we hear the term red line or baseline. Let's just break down a 10 kW system, a typical sale as this was in the Dallas area. And now, Bobby mentioned how the rates are coming down. About a year and 2 months ago, our cost of goods or red line was $2.25 in Texas. Right now, I can get it as low as $1.64 in certain areas, but I'm using $1.75. That will be more indicative of what you find throughout the state of Texas. And Florida is getting close to that as well. California and Florida, you're going to be ranged anywhere from $1.75 to $1.95. And again, that's just wholesale versus retail. So in this case, the retail is lower perhaps in California, whereas the wholesale may be a little high. It's all relative. If you just look at the breakdown of this particular contract, the net revenue after all the cost of goods, that was financing, that was a main panel upgrade, that was the original cost of goods, was $1.05 per watt or $10,500. As the consultant, I received $7,350 of that. As many of you know in the solar industry, it's a complete inversion of how the industry works today. The industry typically takes 70% to the company. In this case, it's 70% to us who are creating the sale and 30% to Powur. And the beauty of this is that Powur takes half of their revenue and gives it back to us, those of us who want to refer people to use the platform. It's really that simple. Powur has a minimum revenue of $1,500 per, so that's really the base. You say you can sell as low as the cost of goods plus $1,500 if you ever had your own home, let's say, for example, a very competitive situation. So you're completely in control of the pricing. What you receive about 30 minutes after entering in the information about your customer is a dynamic proposal link. You edit that tool, you bring it down to the desired offset for the customer, from wherever it came in at a maximum fit design to what's desirable for your customer. From there, you control all of the margins. You control any adders that may be necessary just by clicking on the menu. And you also get complete transparency to every penny that's being spent on the job. That's the transparency, the cost of goods, everywhere down to financing, any adders that you might have had, and the full display of whatever the payment is, price per watt, etc. Never seen that kind of transparency in the industry. And Powur doesn't mark up those cost of goods at all. They provide that back to each of us to be able to manage that revenue stream. In addition to that, they give us incredible tools. A 25-year Powur output guarantee that's coming out in a new release of what we're having to our consultants. A 12 to 25-year inverter warranty comes in out of the box at 12 years. You can upgrade it to a 25-year warranty, a 10-year workmanship warranty, a 5-year roof penetration warranty, and soon introducing a complete cashback energy service plan. I mean, these are tools that as consultants that we will walk over a majority of the competition, not to mention that we control the price. And the intent of us controlling the price isn't to take it and drop pricing. It's to give us the control in the field to take the margins that we, the most important people in the company, aside from the customer, deserve. And that's not been the case in this industry as we know it today. The model works so well that it's inevitable that you're going to want to refer other people to use the platform, much like Keller Williams and EXP and Prudential Insurance, Aflac Insurance, all of those comp plans that you have the ability to either sell something and then help other people sell, or in this case, simply refer them to use the platform. And when you do, you're going to get 20% of the revenue that Powur receives from their 30%. You're getting 20% of their revenue. That comes out to a very hefty number that I'll share with you in just a minute. And with that, you can expect some of those people will do the same thing. Not everybody wants to team build. There's no requirement to team build. But if you desire to refer somebody and let them plug into the platform, there's a passive income stream that you can then monetize. When that creates duplication, when those people do the same thing, that creates leveraged revenue sharing. And the beauty of that is most of these people you may never see in person. You may never have to train, but you've got passive income to the tunes that I'll break down level by level or tier by tier. Anyone you directly refer to use the platform, on average, you receive $600 per installation that they generate. When they refer somebody to use the platform, they're going to override that individual, and so are you, down as many as 6 generations, depending upon how many active qualified consultants you have on your front line. The goal with Powur is to not have you worry about building a massive organization. If you desire to do that, great. But really, it's just to build as many people on your front line and get, on average, $600 per installation that they generate, and know that some of them are going to duplicate that very same behavior. That's it. Super simple. From there, we realized very early on that we were going to have a lot of people come into this space from energy, from a variety of industries, security, anybody touching a home, really, anybody having any connection with a roof, any connection with a home is a perfect person to come in and leverage our platform. And when they do, they get access to paid training. That's all facilitated through Powur. You know, in the traditional solar space, most companies are going to do $150 to $250 stipend to a person that goes along and ride along. Your first 3, 4, 5 sales are going to be done with a trainer or a manager, and you don't get the commission. Powur pays so well that they 50-50 rev split that. So while you're going through and learning to use the platform, then you have the benefit of getting paid training if you don't have solar experience, but if you have solar experience, which most of you do, it's your first contract. And sometimes people say, well, I already know how to sell solar. Why should I work with a mentor? It's to learn how to leverage the platform, to use the tools, the tips within the platform, and then create an income stream. This is a career pathway within Powur. So your active income is everything that you sell. Your passive income is anything that is sold by people you've referred, and your mentorship income is a combination of both. So you want to leverage the experience of a mentor in the platform to be able to turn that into a six-figure income pathway of its own. Once you look at this, you get active income, passive income, mentorship income. The icing on the cake is that Powur wants you to be an owner of the company. On your first installation, you get 100 stock options. You refer somebody to use the platform, they're going to get 100 stock options. You're going to override that and get 50 stock options as well. And then there's some great annual performance goals, 25 installs, basically 2 a month. That's 1,000 options. 50 installs in a calendar year, 5,000 options. And since you're with us prior to IPO, you're going to be able to purchase options down the road at a discounted rate when Powur does go public. We don't know the timing of that. We don't know the value of that, but just look at the industry. Look at NRG, a $14 billion company who couldn't make profit on rooftop solar. I know, I helped run the organization. Direct Energy, a $17 billion company, same story. Solar City, $6 billion. None of them were able to make profit and scale a national company at the same time. Powur has come along and in 5 years, bootstrapped the business. Jonathan put in $1 million. We crowdfund and bring in other people in the industry to raise $10 million to operate where we are. Whether we raise more money or not may not be necessary, but what's the value when we go public? When this market turns back around, it could be 6, 8, 9, who knows how many percentages of return on investment that could be. And that's something that you can leverage now while we're still early stage in this program. The training that the company has is nothing like anything way beyond anything I've ever seen. Initial training, you're a solar pro, so you just have to go through the motions and take a quick test to validate that. Plug into any live coaching sessions that we have every day, Monday through Friday. Do it from home, do it in your pajamas, do it while you're in the car. Work with a mentor on your first contract. That's all you need to do. And then you get an abundance of training for how to sell online, how to team build, organization build online. All of this is done at your convenience with no requirement to set aside a month for training before you can start to sell. You can literally get out and start to sell the day that you get enrolled in the company. And as you can see, here's an example of our calendar that we have. You got to tap into different sessions that we have daily, Monday through Friday, sometimes even on Saturdays. You get access to video trainings that we have on team building, as I mentioned, online selling. This is what we've been doing. Bobby mentioned that I've been a pretty good track record. I think I'm 22 for 27. 27 proposals, 22 contracts. 2 of the ones that I can't count didn't pass credit, but I presented to them, so I'm counting them. That's not a bad run rate. The same techniques that I use are all part of the training that you receive. And you can sell in basically 20 states, with our primary focus being California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Florida. That's where we acquire the equipment. Powur acquires equipment, which means we have a higher margin. In California, Texas, and now officially Florida, we are the general contractor. In every case that we do that, we start to drop down that cost of goods. And as we drop down the cost of goods, we, consultants, get 70% of that benefit. 15% comes to team build, 15% stays with Powur. So in these other markets, our general cost of goods typically around $220. In California, Texas, and Florida, it's the lowest because we're doing the equipment acquisition. It's $1.75-ish in Texas, $1.85-ish in Florida, $1.95 in California. Don't worry about it. It's a penny difference here, penny difference there. At the end of the day, it's all passed directly through the customer, and you control the price that you want to sell it. Not Powur. They give you the cost. You see all that transparently. You sell it at what you want to sell it. With that said, kind of a recap of what we talked about here. You get the 70-30 split of everything over that cost of goods. You get 6-level revenue share should you desire to refer people to use the platform. You get ownership in the company, in Powur, through the performance and through your initial installs. And then the cost. This is effectively a business in a box. This is what it is. It's a $99 one-time onboarding fee. And since we're getting 85% of the revenue coming to the field, we contribute to the technology. Imagine when we have 10,000 people who are contributing $49, $50 a month to the improvement of the technology, the API integrations, all the things that that technology will do for us, because ultimately it's designed for us to make our job all the better. That's the business in a box. I'm talking to two audiences. I'm talking to the solar pros who are listening to this video. Get back to whoever referred you, get the final questions answered, jump on this train, take advantage of it while we have the ability to give you all the tools that you need to be able to turn your current career over to an online selling model. You have everything that you need to be able to do that. With that, those who are listening live, stand by. I'm going to stop the recording and we will commence. And I'll turn the floor back over to Bobby. Stand by, everyone.